Alright, in this video we are going to cover using a scroll of recall as well as what a recoup room is, or recuperation room. So let's head over to the magic shop, get ourselves some scrolls, and then we'll take a quick walk outside of town and test them out. So to get to the magic shop from the inn, it's down, down, north, east, up. And if we do a listing here, we should be able to see all the magic items that are available. We're looking at item number 9, which is a glowing scroll of recall for 100 coins, and then number 10, which is just a regular scroll of recall for 25. So the main difference here, glowing scrolls, you can recite them in the dark and that'll bring you back to town. Actually, it'll bring you back to the inn of whatever town that you rent in. And if you opt for the cheaper option, that will bring you back to town. However, you'll be in a random location in town, so you still have to find your way back to the inn. So obviously, if you can afford the glowing, I would recommend that. But if you're on a budget, just go with at least it gets you out of trouble. having any recall is better than having no recall. So let's go ahead and buy number 9 and buy number 10. Now we have 2 scrolls of recall. See them in our inventory. Now, I know you wouldn't do this, but for the sake of the video, let's say that we decide to leave town and we forgot to either get a fly or go and get a horse. So what's going to happen is once we get outside of the gates, we're going to see our vitality start dropping very significantly, or very quickly, and we're going to run out of vitality and not be able to go anywhere. So if we had done that without a scroll of recall, then we would have to wait for a tick to happen to get vitality back so we could slowly limp our way back to town. But since we have recall, we'll just be able to recall and get the supplies that we need. So let's go ahead and head outside of the east gate, I think. We'll head out on the eastern road, and you can see I was losing like 1 vitality at a time. Now it looks like I'm losing, I lost 3 there once, a couple of times, still losing 3. There's probably a Kender here. Somebody has a glowing scroll of recall. Yep, of course it's a Kender. So keep walking. And actually, that was a good fight right there. I would have got my butt kicked there for sure, but we fleed past it. Let's keep. Oop! Now I'm dead. Let's hope this recall scroll goes off. This is a perfect test. Oh, beautiful. Oh, I thought for sure I was going to die. So that is a perfect example of why you walk outside of town and have a recall scroll on you. So let's go ahead and just scroll back up and see exactly what happened there. So I was walking outside the gate, didn't have a fly, didn't have a horse. You could see my vitality dropping. Actually, not as quickly out the east gate as it does out the southern gate, but it was still dropping quicker than it would if we were walking through town. I walk into this room and then bam, I'm bashed. You can see a savage hobgoblin bashed me. That actually knocked me down to the ground. So now I am prone on the ground, and there's a pretty ugly combat round right here. You can see he's at perfect, but I get slashed hard, a slash very hard. I miss them. I go from essentially, well, from essentially perfect. I guess I did take that 1 round up here, but I went from being in the green to almost dead. I had 20 hit points, and actually what saved me here is you can see that there was a tick in between there. So I was at 20 hit points, it ticked, I went up to 43, I barely stayed alive, or otherwise I probably would have died, and I was able to get my recite recall off, which you can see here that it dissolved, and it brought me back to the forest lane, which is a location inside of Solus. So that was a very close call. So thank goodness for the recall. Let's go ahead and drink some water here. No, we're out of water. So let's see if we can find our way back to the Solus Square. Now I'm pretty sure Forest Lane is kind of southish of the square. Let's just kind of, I'm still sitting even. So I was able to recite that recall scroll even while I was sitting on the ground after the bash. I didn't have time to stand up. Let's go north. So we're on the intersection of Western Avenue and Forest Lane. So that means we should have to just head east. That'll bring us back to the square. So you'll figure out how to navigate around town after wandering around here lost for a little while. I'm going to go ahead and fill up our water skin. And now we only have 1 recall scroll available. Let's go ahead Drink water one more time, eat all, make sure that we aren't hungry. Let's go ahead now and head out the southern gate. So just head as far south as we can go. East, we'll keep heading south, and look at how quickly my vitality is dropping. I just lost 12 vitality from that one move. So there it's continuing to drop, continuing to drop. We are almost, so another couple of moves and we're going to be at nothing. So what I'm going to do here is realized I didn't have my fly on, or my horse. I'm going to go ahead and recite the glowing recall, and that should put us back in the inn. So all you got to do is recite recall. And actually, I'm going to type that out in a minute, but what I hit earlier is I hit RR and then just hit the return key because I have that triggered to recite recall. That way, when I get in trouble, like what just happened, I'm able to do it quickly without even thinking or, barely putting any thought into it. So let's recite recall. Bam, just like that, we are back at the inn. And this is actually going to go into the second part. So now that I'm low on vitality, but I'm back in the main town, or back in Solus, let's go hit a recoup room. So we go down, west, south from the inn, and if we rest here and type score, this is what's known as a recuperate room. So while we're sitting here and resting, we're going to gain back vitality and hit points at an accelerated rate. So if there are recoup rooms spread around the kind of all over the world as you're out adventuring, you'll find different recoup rooms. So you'll learn to kind of like use those to your advantage, especially as you're like traveling between towns or in zones. If you want to memorize faster, get your hit points back faster, stuff like that. So you can see here that I jumped from 52 vitality on the tick up to 107 vitality. So that's pretty good recoup. Tick happens basically every minute. So, just like that, we are back in town and back to full health and full vitality. And I think that is a good place to end this video. So be sure to catch the next one.